Oh God. Hey everybody, welcome back to Thirsty Therapy. I'm just throwing glasses. I was getting our water glasses, in fact, ready for tonight's tasting. Whoa. Because you know when we have Navy strength, we got to make sure Bree has a bigger water glass than I.
Yeah.
John, how are you? John, where are you?
I'm here. I'm very fine, thank you.
Oh, good. John's
I'll fix it.
Straight ahead is frozen.
It's not on
Oh, it's
straight.
not?
No, it's just for you. So
Oh,
you
it's just for me.
Just hold tight.
Now I get it. Okay. Well, you know how I am with seeing John's face. It does fill me inside. John, are you ready for a good, a fun gin tasting tonight?
Yes. Yes, I love tastings. I'm excited for the cocktails we got them in, but I'm always, you walk into a bar and you see they ask you what gin do you want with your drink or, whatever spirit. You never get the chance to try 5 side by side. I just love that. It really elevates, your knowledge of what you can use each one for.
Yeah, and the subtleties that are actually there, right? It's really hard to pick it out unless you're doing that, unless you're tasting them in this way, because otherwise it's kind of like a scientific study, but you change too many factors every single time, right? At least this way we get to have a little bit next to each other so we can compare those flavors. I'm excited for that. I think that we've started with a good, basic dry gin introduction for everybody.
We racked our brains on that one. What is the intro to gin? How do you pick 5 gins for a tasting? Gin is a really broad category.
Huge. So this is what we came up with. We went back and forth. We added some, took some off. This is finally what we came down with because we wanted to stick with more comparable flavors, a little more London dry style, or a little bit on the drier style, and yet even with the 5 that we have huge differences in flavor. Well, that's what we think. We're pretty sure of.
We're gonna find out.
Right. There's a few of them that's who knows, we might totally throw ourselves off. Well, anybody that's done this with us before, we are going to introduce the gins that we're going to do the tasting with. We're going to kind of spitball where we think they're going to lie, pour them out, taste them, and then we're going to rearrange it compared to, or depending on the flavors, to see kind of the order. And the format that we use is we go from the most amount of flavors or complexities to the most simplistic. And the reason we do that is because we usually want to start with the more simplistic flavors so we don't burn out our palates. If we started with the bigger, bolder flavors, by the time we got to the more subtle ones at the end, our palates would be craving and expecting bigger flavors, and they'd seem boring and they would fall short, even though there might be delicate subtleties that are there that we would miss out on. And it's worked out well, right, John? This has been a lot of fun. Bree, you had a good time with this. I mean, other than she's a little worried about the Navy Strength gin. For any of the rest of you that were here for Navy Strength night.
Okay.
It wasn't even Navy Strength night. It was a martini night, right?
Oh, that's right. But we made everything with Navy Strength, though, didn't we?
We made every possible martini under the sun, I think.
Yeah,
that's true.
I feel like there were a lot of drinks made that night. We went off script maybe a little bit.
Oh yeah,
I don't
you're right.
remember,
We were sipping it by the end. Was that a night that we had dinner too at the end?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that ended bad for all of us. That next day was rough.
It was rough.
We all needed extra therapy the next day, and we were thirsty for Gatorade or Pedialyte.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that tonight. We'll keep it a little more chill.
If it's that, you know how what we're doing differently this time is Navy Strength is just a little taste. We're not using it in either of the cocktails, so we visit the Navy Strength once and then we move on.
Right, and just in case.
How's that sound, Bree?
Sounds good. I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm feeling good.
And we got water for you. Good little bit. You got even a bigger glass than I do, John. I know you've been awesome about having your water on standby. Cheers to everybody.
We got a classy carafe.
Right, everybody try and hey, I'm using what I got. Try and get yourself hydrated. Anybody out there that's going to do this tasting with us, Tarts, welcome in. It was fun to watch. Oh, good. I'm so glad. It was fun to do it too. It just the whole recovery was the less. Isn't that always the case though? That's always the least fun part of it.
That's what. There's a reason we don't broadcast that part.
Yeah.
Right, going down the rabbit hole's awesome. It's just landing there that kind of is rough.
Crawling back out of it.
Right, exactly. There we go. Like daylight. Oh no. Oh. Well, that's awesome. All right, let's grab our gins that we're gonna start with then, and let's get this thing going, everybody. You ready to start tasting some gins?
Yeah, line up all the bottles. Show us what we're working with.
All right. So
I've only got 2 of the 5 bottles. I have all the gins in little sampler sizes, but you got the pretty bottles to show
I got
off.
those pretty bottles. Thank you, John, for hooking me up with the pretty bottle of Beefeater as well today. Splitting that with me. So we have these 5, and I just put them out there. They're kind of in an okay order. How do you feel so far, John? What do you think should be the very first thing we taste? What do you feel like?
We wrote this down. I'm just waiting for the agenda to expand.
Oh yeah, will you expand that agenda?
Sorry, I lost it.
I know, so many windows.
Yeah. Alright.
I'm kicking bottles back here. Alright, so we have, and this is the order that we talked about over and over again. I just wasn't sure before we got it.
Sure, yeah. I mean, we may change this, but this is what we decided a few weeks or a week or 2 ago.
Yeah.
Gordon's, Beefeater, Roku, Aria, Plymouth, Navy Strength.
So we're ending with one, and this one had, I think, a lot of debate for both John and I, especially because Navy Strength, it's got a good amount of flavor, but it's not an Old Tom necessarily. It's not wouldn't typically be the strongest flavor out of all these, but because it is that Navy Strength, it is a palate enveloper. So right, like yeah, it kind of. You're not coming back from that one. So we put it at the end. We're going to taste them though, and I'm excited to see where they should fall as far as flavor complexity and strength goes in that way. You ready to get started?
Yeah, let's pour some tastes and we'll talk about each one as we go.
Hell yeah. All right, Bree, I'm going to set you up. I'm going to go with silly fun glasses for each one of these things. Gordon will be the mermaid. Beefeater should be the Mad Hatter glass for sure.
Oh, you're getting different glasses?
Do you want different glasses?
Yes, if that's an option.
You got it.
It's like I start to get confused.
Okay, let's see then. We'll go.
Do ours the same though, if you can. We got dupes.
Ooh, okay. Let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can do. Alright. We do have dupes of most of these. We just may have to switch them up a little bit. Alright, so you're going to have Gordon's. Where's the other Mad Hatter glass? So John, after our hot stream a couple weeks ago, are you moving?
Hot drinks?
Yeah, with our hot drinks. Do you feel like you're moving into feeling like, you want a little more, things have been sunny for us around here. Do you feel like you want a little bit more, bumping things into springtime? Are you feeling that yet? Or you still feel pretty cold? Because it's still pretty chilly.
It is chilly, but the hot drinks, I mean, that was great. That's still timely. That's still good. I see hot drinks on menus at bars around town, so that's welcome.
Right.
But gin is the anytime liquor, right? All season liquor.
I'd have to agree with that.
Thank you for working so hard to make this happen.
You are very, very welcome. I'm almost there too. Think I got it. Okay. It is the anytime, and you just kind of change up the ingredients you're adding to it, the spices you're gonna add. You might be able. It's kind of like when we move into bourbon season. You might be able to handle the depths of the botanicals, of things with a little bit more botanical blend to it. We didn't dive into any of those. That's going to be for another show, but we'll dive into, we have our Old Tom gins. We have the heavy botanical gins, whether they be dry or not. Coffee still. John, you and I didn't even talk about it. We got slow gin, too, with the slow berries. Yeah,
imagine trying to do intro to gin, like all possible gin in just 5 tastes.
Right. It wouldn't happen. You'd have to do it in 15 tastes, and then that would be like, this would be the comedy of errors. We wouldn't even get to cocktails.
Yeah. I'm not even sure we're doing, like, I'm excited for this tasting, but I'm not even sure we're doing quote unquote dry gin justice.
I'm with you on that. I can completely agree with that.
Oh, just pouring some of these. That smell is hitting me. I love it.
Good. I'm so glad that we have not only some industry, like some standards, some world standards, but we have a new one from Beam Suntory with the Roku, which has some Sanso pepper and some yuzu in it. So I really appreciate those flavors. We'll be making a cocktail with that later on tonight. But we also have our local Aria Gin, which has a great distinct, it's still considered to be a dry, but it has a great distinct set of flavors to it.
Yeah, made here in Portland.
Right here in Portland. And thank goodness, I've been lucky enough to be using that behind a bar since they first came out and they were part of Bull Run Distillery before they broke out and did their own thing. They were making it out of Bull Run right down the road from Bamboo Sushi's second location where I was working.
Mm. Yeah.
Thanks. All right.
John's glasses. Your camera's frozen. I'm gonna switch back.
Oh, okay. I couldn't even hear that. All right. Well, let's get started, everybody. You ready? Let's start with Gordon's. Bree?
That's the mermaid one.
Mermaid one. Cheers. John? Cheers.
Cheers. I see Gordon's all the time. Very common brand, but I don't think I've ever tried it by itself. Must be nice.
It's one of the oldest gins around. I get a good juniper nose, a little bit of citrus. I haven't even tasted it yet, but... What are y'all getting on flavor?
Yep. Definitely. It's always the first one that's tough, like coming from nothing to this.
Right.
I also hated gin until like 5 years ago. So
That's true.
It hits me in like
A different way.
yeah.
And in a way, if you want to convert someone to liking gin, I'm not sure that...
No.
We'll see. But I'm not thinking that Gordon's and Beefeaters are the way to do it. They're very neutral.
Yeah, none of these are the way to do it.
Although
Sorry.
Aria was my gateway.
It wasn't.
What was then?
Vivacity.
Oh, yeah.
Vivacity was your gateway, and then you were able to get into like Aria.
This one's it's like astringent to me.
Oh, totally. In fact, at the beginning of the pandemic, I know people that were spraying down their cans to sanitize them with Gordon's.
Oh, maybe that's why. Maybe that's what I'm remembering, because we bought some beer from some places that did that. And you could like smell it.
All right, well, we'll put that aside for right now. Don't hurt yourself. If nothing else, it is. But juniper and just a little bit of lemon. I'd get maybe white pepper in the background, but it's pretty simple. Neutral grain spirits. It's a vodka with a decent amount of botanicals. Let's go to Beefeater next. I'm getting roughly the same nose.
You just want to be on hands or on your face. Shrugs a little
Probably
bit.
on our face.
Okay.
I think.
Although those bottles are beautiful.
Well, you can put mine on my hands and then John on his face. How about
We
that?
don't have that.
Oh, we don't have that program? Just kidding. Just kidding.
Maybe we rotate at random.
I'll just push the button every now and then.
Hey-o.
It keeps...
I always hope for that. All right, let's have a taste.
Oh, it is different though.
It is different.
What is that?
Yeah, I got the same nose. I agree, but what is that?
Yeah, what is that?
In the background, that gumminess. I want to say, part of me wants to say coriander, but I feel like there's something else in
Oh,
there.
it's like...
I mean, there's juniper and citrus, but there's like this.
Not something else.
Oh! Uni Abby,
I don't think they're here.
if you're here, what did you put in your gin that you made?
Is it peppercorns? Like...
It is peppery, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like a pink peppercorn, though, not a black peppercorn. It's almost like floral. Part of me wants to say, like, I was going to say pepper and asparagus. Because it's got this strange creaminess on the...
I get
and
that.
this finish.
I guess that's not the piece that I... Also, I will say that, like, my first sip was totally different than any subsequent sip.
Well, it's almost this like shocking of your taste buds too, right? We've talked about
Yeah,
that.
and I agree
where
with tart. There is like a salinity there. It's like a something that hits
when
that
you breathe
part.
in, the way it hits the sides of your tongue, it makes you start salivating. I like that. You're right. Good call, tarts. Yeah, I haven't had Beefeater by itself in forever.
Yeah, like I would have never. I like this one better than Gordon's though on its own.
Yeah,
But
I'll give you
it's more
that.
interesting.
If you're sipping it. Although I want to like now we got to do a show where we do. What if we do the same drink with 3 different kinds of gin?
Yeah.
They are very close, and the differences might disappear in a cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for me, like there's the bar manager in me. It goes back to like price point per each one and the subtlety of the difference if they're mixed up. But I don't know. Now I want to try it.
Right.
We're gonna have to do something. Not tonight. Not tonight.
Not.
But that would be fun to do, right? Ooh, I should put that one back. All right, on to Roku. Oh, thank you, John. Everybody hydrate. Take a drink of water. Hit the meniscus.
Of water.
I was just more like take a drink. Trying to be good. See if I can make it to the end. Not embarrassing myself.
So Roku. So this gin is imported from Japan.
It is. Yeah, it's made from Beam Suntory. And they brought this Roku, and then they have a Haku vodka. Both made from rice rather than neutral grain spirits. Changes the complexity. Wait, is this one neutral grain spirits now that I say it? The vodka is rice. I thought this one was too. Nope, neutral grain spirits for the gin. But Sanso pepper, it's got yuzu peel in it. I don't know if you've ever had Sanso on its own. It's almost a pepper blend. I got a little bottle of it. No one needs to see it right now, but we'll show it the next time if we talk about it. But a green peppercorn blend has a little bit of almost lemongrass taste to it. I think. And so I'm interested. Like, I love what it imparts in this gin as well. John, have you had this yet?
I've had it before. I've owned it before. It's I just remember it being really good, really delicate, and really cheap, especially for an import.
Yeah, $24 for a bottle of it.
Oh yeah, this is
Especially like with the vodka that I was telling you about is $34. So it's odd that like the gin is so much cheaper than the vodka, and the complexity for me is so much better.
But Roku gin is just good.
It's good.
All right, let me try.
I forgot to talk about the nose, but you don't get a lot.
Yeah. You don't like smell it. It's a very like clean like.
No.
Anything.
Really delicate, really easy to sip by itself.
Mm-hmm. But the flavor-wise, like I get so much more complexity of flavor. I mean, it's delicate.
Are these all the same proof?
I believe they're roughly all about the same proof. Let's see. Roku's at 41. Beefeater should be at 40. 44.
Aria's 40. Aria's 45.
And Gordon's is 40. And we know 57 proof for the Navy strength. So.
Yeah. Huh.
So that means that the Roku and the Gordon's are the two light hitters.
Yet the Roku tastes so much smoother and delicate by itself.
Yeah.
It does. But I totally taste the Sanso and the citrus in a different way. See, I would drink this a lot more every day. It's not going to get... I mean, although we have a couple cocktails... I've had a couple cocktails with it. I don't think it's going to get lost in there. But if you have too many flavors, it could. So I'd still leave these as my backbone. What? Oh, we lost John. Andy froze.
Well, no, it's going to have on the TV. John's here.
Well, no, he did freeze
freeze
before that, but I was just trying to let it go.
Here. Hold on. Sorry, loose. I can't redo the chat. Oh my gosh, what?
Whoa. Well, hang in there, everybody. We'll be okay. We're going to keep talking about this. Or we'll move on.
Lucid's co-taster, like in Roku 2, the moist towelette from KFC. Citrusy and refreshing.
Oh my god.
It kind of is, though. Like, the smell kind of is.
You know,
That's
you know,
why I
the
laughed
Japan,
out loud.
you know, they love KFC in Japan.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a whole collaboration there. I don't know.
Right. Did I ever say that? I ever tell you that the McDonald's in Japan was hands down the best McDonald's burger in the world I've ever had?
Oh, I've experienced that too.
I was shocked.
They make it like it's in the commercials. Like it looks and tastes like the commercials make it look and taste like. Same crash though at the end.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Right.
I think I was eating probably not so good when I had it. Like my body was used to it, so I didn't have the same crash. Now I'd be dead. Oh, we even took Tate to In-N-Out. I remember, like.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Did I tell you this
story? Yeah.
Oh, I can't hear John.
I know, I can't hear John either. Just give me a second.
But we took Tate to In-N-Out Burger because we were driving home real late at night. We just had to get some sort of food. We had like 2 hours before we got home, and it was like midnight already. So we're okay. In-N-Out's just about to close. We'll get this. Hey, you've never had fast food. What do you think of this? He's like, I don't know.
I love In-N-Out.
And then an hour later, just started getting the worst stomach ache and got so sick, and has never forgiven us completely for like. Even now, we jokingly drive by an In-N-Out. I'm like, hey, Tate, you wanna you up for it?
What a shame. I love In-N-Out.
Well, John, I can't hear you.
Hold on, John.
It's okay. Should we taste the Aria and try and we can do hand signals with one another. We can try and do charades
That's why.
to
No,
see
I know why.
what we think the flavors are. Do you have any peppercorns? Can you just like start throwing things in the air? Oh, I hear you.
What's the you can hear me now?
I can hear you now. This is great.
All right.
Yay.
I'm about to sign tasting notes.
It'd be charades
Yeah, it's
at
like,
that
don't
point.
have him taste what we can't hear him. We're just like reading his lips, guessing what he's saying.
I know. Our
You keep reading coriander. I keep saying moist towelette.
Are you saying citrus? No. This is shit, is what I'm saying. Oh, sorry, I almost dove into Aria. I got all excited.
Oh well, let's do it. Let's move
on. All right, let's put it up to your face. Let's give it a smell.
It's okay. I got stop laughing about the moist.
The moist towelette. Now this one's distinguishably different in its smell from the rest. I feel like.
Did I just get COVID?
Right on the nose. Uh-oh. I don't know.
I can't
Did
smell
you?
anything. Oh, now I do. Okay. It's bad.
Gotta put it in your face.
Okay, stop.
To re-up the Gordons to compare.
Go back to Gordon's myself. Yeah.
Yeah. It's more. I'm picturing like a dried. Well, a lot of herbs go into gin, I know, but something more herbaceous, where the Gordon's more neutral. What's
Much
that?
more.
What is that?
I've always attributed it to the. Well, there's a lot of similarities, I suppose, but I've always thought it was. I smell coriander right on the first part. My first bit of nose tends to be that. I feel like a lot of the flavor that's different comes from the orris root and the grains of paradise. I feel like those both are more unique and really bold flavors.
Orris root?
Orris root is a bittering agent, like I use in bitters, so I have it down here. Super. Well, I'd hate to say bitter and astringent, but a lot. Gentian tends to be that way. Angelica root tends to be that way, which is angelica root, another big use in gins. The grains of paradise, I can tell you more distinctly. Well, and the dryness to the orris root. There's also this weird richness to it that's different than I feel like angelica root in some of these, But I can't always tell whether the richness comes from the grains of paradise, because I don't know if any of you mess around with grains of paradise.
No.
Which I have some
That was
here.
my next question.
I just put some in high proof alcohol just because I wanted to make like a tincture and pull it out, which almost rendered no flavor. I smashed them up with a muddler then after that, which got a little bit out of it. But by themselves, if you take a bite, imagine like an intense bite, slightly cardamom, slight amount of ginger, a little bit of heat, a little bit of spice, almost Szechuan-y, without the numbing. So it's a really interesting, complex grain in itself. I'm excited to use it in more. It's crazy expensive too, but I think that's why. Yeah, so I got like a little bit of it. And then for 45 proof, it has a smoothness. It just rolls over your tongue.
Yeah. Here's my less more amateurish tasting note, is that Aria puts together everything that I like about the first 3 gins. It's somehow clearly gin, clearly the juniper kind of neutral, but then it's got the additional herbal agents from the Beefeater, and then the delicateness of the Roku. I would drink this Aria by itself.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, and as we tend to sometimes. I think when you and I were talking about these, I was like, God damn it, I'm just pulling some out. I gotta just start tasting them now.
Yeah.
So that we can figure it out. But it has a smoothness. It rolls back over your tongue again.
Yeah.
Missing the same dryness, but salinity's noticeable. Keep thinking about moist towelettes. How I can turn that into a dirty joke. I like that one. But you get the gingery heat on the... That's the only thing I can attribute that to. And the one thing that I don't know is that I haven't tasted it all by itself. Oh, there is angelica root in here. Is the cubeb berry.
So how's it spelled?
Cubebberry. That's berry.
Cubeb berry.
Interested?
I do like that the ingredients list is all along the label of the bottle very prominently. It's good graphic design.
Yeah, it really is.
Spell it again?
There you go.
Thanks.
You got it. Second word's berry.
Yeah.
Berry. Thanks, John.
People can take a screen cap. No, I'm sure the label. I'm sure this is findable online.
But it's a really well-made gin. I'm a big fan of it. And it's more botanical than any other plain dry gin that's out there from Portland. And I say that with hesitation because River Rain is considered a dry gin, but we're doing that on our on the stream where we're dealing with a little bit more bolder botanical flavors.
So they have like peppercorns.
Do they?
But they said they taste more like allspice.
Oh, that makes sense. To have some allspice.
Bedberries?
Yeah. Did you hear that, John?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, never heard of them.
Which is, kind of makes sense. Every time I make tonic and I leave out allspice, I'm always sad because it's missing some weird backbone of it. So I just try and tend to adjust it a little bit. Now I kind of want to try that. And see if it gives just the right amount.
There's the question.
Question: Have you created a moist towelette? Well, what else would be in it? Trying to think. Well, it definitely have to have lemon. Roku gin and lemon.
Served in a bucket of fried chicken.
Right.
Like
It would be like in a little nestled in a thing of fried chicken, be on top with a straw coming out. So you just have to smell the fried chicken. You couldn't eat it. You just have to smell the fried chicken while you suck your drink out.
Garnish with fried chicken.
Now I want a potato wedge. To be honest, Well, now that we're not calling it KFC moist towelette, I wouldn't have to put potato starch in it, but part of me felt like it had to be potatoey.
Billy started his hospitality career at KFC, so I feel like we know a little too much about the secret.
That's right.
Yeah, the secret sauces, a lot of black pepper. That's a lot of black pepper. Nobody tastes anything after they have a lot of black pepper. And what about Aviation Gin? That is also going to be Aviation is the first North American or Pacific Northwest botanical gin, so that has to be on our botanical show. But absolutely, that has to be out there. Shout out to Ryan McGarrian and the crew at House Spirits for creating that one. Now it's Ryan Reynolds and his sexy pecs, but I'm not threatened.
I remember you did the party for them. Remember you did the party for Aviation? Didn't you do an Aviation party?
Yeah, I did a couple they were House Spirits parties, yeah.
You text me if Ryan Reynolds shows up.
Right, yeah.
I will be there.
They tried to Ryan Reynolds just bought the company, he might be there for this. It was out of Furry when I was there.
I was like, I will find a babysitter and I will be
right?
there.
She was just going to put the kids in the trunk and come in and meet Ryan Reynolds.
Billy, you'll text me if Blake Lively's going to be there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
So we can both get shot down at the same time. It'll be awesome. Just kidding.
Oh.
Hey, bye. Oh, shit. Well, she smelled nice.
She's promoting like a whole NA line now. Like,
of course. They're a power couple. They're gonna win one way or another. Drinkers or non-drinkers. Let's tap in. Damn those pretty people. John, you want to try the next one?
Yeah, we got one gin left in our tasting.
All right, one more left. Here we go. Be prepared. All right, so Navy strength.
I'm gonna have like a Jaeger reaction.
I get a heavy amount of juniper back on the nose, but a smoothness too.
Yeah, smooth.
I feel like that's juniper. Well, and it's hot a little bit, but it's 57 proof. So, if you're pulling a little bit away from your face.
Oh, that's so delicious by itself.
How can a Navy strength be that smooth?
Oh, it is really good, man.
So now this one,
Problem.
I believe in the Angelica root for sure in this one. I taste that.
Believe in it.
Like I can taste it more. Like I taste it, and I'm like, yeah.
I know.
It's got this weird floral like dryness that finishes on your. I believe in you. I'm gonna clap for you. I'm gonna come back, Angelica root. But there's this different citrus on this, and I don't know why. If it's.
It's like Buddha handy to me. It's like that.
Limey almost? Or maybe it's citron. That's a good call.
Like citron.
Hey, when life gives you lemons, it didn't. Remember that? Did we talk about that on the show?
This conversation sounds familiar. Say it again for the... I know what you're talking about, but say it for everybody else.
Hold on, I got props. If I don't break them. Okay.
Whoa.
When life gives you lemons, what are my hands or my face?
You're in your hand. You're in
Okay,
your face. You're in your face.
Okay,
Sorry,
just kidding.
I just can't talk.
So when life gives you lemons, but they say it didn't give us lemons, this is a creation of man. Like we made this hybrid. We made
a lemon.
This was This was animal husbandry or plant husbandry, if you will. This is the citron. This is actually what we had first, and we mixed it with oranges, and that's how we got these pretty little lemons. It kept kind of the shape, but obviously the juice, there's hardly any juice in this citron. The pith and the peel itself are going to be almost double. Oh wait, I forgot we're up here. Double the thickness of a lemon. But I always find that quite interesting that we have this, like, when life gives you lemons, but that's bullshit. We just created this, I think, like 800 years ago. There you go.
800?
I do really like that story.
I don't know. Check it out. You're my fact finder. It's a fun one, right, John? Like, you would have never known if it wasn't for some weird category in your weekly trivia.
Yeah.
Or on Thirsty Therapy.
And still, it still works as an adage. Like the adage is, it's just funny that it chose this thing that humans intentionally bred, and is now so ubiquitous, we've forgotten the citron.
Right.
Huh. We forgot the old way of doing things.
Well, and then isn't that usually like, oh yeah, these have been around forever? Well, you haven't been around forever. How the fuck do you know? You know what I mean? But we're like, oh, for sure. My grandpa knew about it. Well, your grandpa's only 75. I'm pretty sure this could be a new thing. Interesting story to that same thing. I never knew that the Southwest of America, I always thought that it looked a certain way. And oddly enough, I was shown pictures of the Southwest in the 1800s. And the early 1800s, there was a lot of the same brushes, grasses, dry land, like a lot of the same plants didn't even exist. They were brought in as animal feed from all around the world. Cheap feed from Russia and different places like that. And obviously the cows just spread it around. And it completely changed the look and the look of the landscape. And I wouldn't have known that. I would have just been like, I would have told my son if I wouldn't have learned that, like, this is how it's always looked. Ever since the oceans dried up, son, it's looked like this. But no, so we don't know any better. Back to our gin. Are you happy with the Plymouth? How do you feel about our order that we pre-picked?
I think it was a good order. I mean, maybe Roku, I mean, technically in terms of truly the most delicate is actually the first one.
Yeah.
But you know, we're not just going strictly lightest to strongest. We want to introduce people to dry gin. And what do you order when you show up at a bar? What are all those bottles? You're probably going to see Gordon's. You're going to see Beefeater, a lot of bars.
Right.
Just knock those out. That's the baseline, very mainstream, very popular gin.
Right.
Now here's the Roku. Notice the difference. Now let's go bolder flavors, which were definitely the last two.
Do you feel like
strangely the bolder ones were the only ones that I wanted to, in the end, that I now want to drink by themselves. The Roku is drinkable by itself.
Right.
But Aria and Plymouth, so fun.
I completely agree. These are the three that I catch myself going back to, especially the last two. Do you feel like I'm gonna go back to it?
So I think the only thing that I found, that it was like 1,800 years ago, not 800.
Oh, 1,800 years ago.
But it does seem your story checks out, although I don't think it's a definitive that we know for sure, like where and when this all happened.
Okay.
But they did
But it was a
evolve
cultivar.
from citron, correct? Seems like that's...
Grafting. Things like that. Oddly enough, that shit has been happening for a long, long time. Fascinating how well it can actually work. Expression you're looking for is when life hands you citrons, make lemons. I completely agree, Tarts. Get your shit together, folks. Like, make some lemons out of it. What are you gonna do? Then you're gonna squeeze those lemons.
Speaking of how old it is, I like the expression, that guy, he's older than dirt. I'm pretty sure
no one is.
He and the dirt are the same age, actually. All made of the same stuff.
Oh.
Okay, that's true.
Good call. I thought we were going to head down some Methuselah, like something worse, like the oldest man in existence. Right? I mean, if that's the case, we're stardust, too.
Yeah.
We are stardust. We're made of stars. Yeah, trying to keep it positive. Or pedantic, whichever.
Ooh, I like positive. I don't even know what pedantic means. So, thank goodness.
Overly educational.
Positive. Oh, good. That's not me.
Pedantic is the well actually for well actually.
Ah. Well, actually. Technically speaking. Oh, what was that from? That used to be a character somewhere. So, my only other question before we go through this is, would you swap out the Aria and the Plymouth?
They do seem kind of different from the other three.
And almost does it seem like a more natural progression from Roku to Plymouth to? You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna try it. Let's just give it a shot. We got these here. They're gonna get finished one way or another. Let's be honest, folks. Everybody knows me by now.
What are you talking about? Progression from Roku to
Roku, Plymouth, then Aria.
Oh. Yeah, that could work.
You feel me?
That could work. Oh, I was just going back and forth between the two, and I noticed this brightness in the background of Aria. Maybe citrus, something that Plymouth didn't have. Plymouth was just kind of bold and spicy all around.
That's true. Well, maybe it does need to stay in that order then.
Yeah, I don't know. You just tried it just now?
I did, but my lips are just tingling more than anything else right now. I'm like,
we have to walk away for a couple hours and come
Right.
back. Your taste buds are done for the
yeah,
for the time being.
they're getting all sorts of blown out.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not
Okay.
like our tonic's really going to help with that. I think we're just tossing it at this point. Anybody out there who is following along with us, let us know what you think. Do you agree with the order if you've been able to keep up? Man, how about you know what we didn't do, and I don't want to take the time necessarily to do it now. We didn't add any water or talk about drops of water to this. And I am curious because all of a sudden, I think it was Plymouth that everybody correct me if I'm wrong, hopefully you were paying attention more than I was. I think it was Plymouth that I sipped last. And then had this nice drink of water because it was, nothing but tingles. And I got this huge, immense black pepper finish going right to the back of my throat.
Yeah.
That you didn't have on any of the others?
No, just a subtle amount. It probably has something to do with the oxygenation of that oil, though, too. Like black pepper, as you guys are going to see here coming up, is pretty distinctive. Like when we're using it in the tincture that I've made, there's so much natural oil between the bergamot and the black pepper itself that you'll actually be able to see a little bit of cloudiness from it being added. A palate cleanser for gin tasting, and how do you come back from that? There's really some water, some time. If you have a magic eraser, what you can do is really gently... No, don't do that. Right? Pterodactyl, how the heck are you? We're doing good. Thanks for joining us. Nice to have you
I
back.
like the Navy strength the best.
You like the Navy strength the best?
I told you.
Isn't that how it got?
We're new.
Isn't that how we got here
Right.
in the first place? So, John, where's your favorite? Is it Navy strength then, or is it Aria?
No, I can't choose. I have to have them both.
Good, because they're too distinct to give up on one.
Yeah. I kind of like going back and forth between them. Like, no, I like this one. No, I like this one. And I think that's the sign of a winning combo for me.
Yeah, and that lets you know that you can have a good blend. Sorry, go ahead.
I tend to have them both in the gin slot on of my workhorse spirits at my bar here. For a while, maybe last stream it was Beefeater,
Right.
and going back to Aria.
Go back to Aria. Yeah.
So Portland.
Right.
Hometown pride.
Keep it back. Bring it to the hometown. We got so much. We got what?
We forgot about the skooma.
You know what? We had too busy of the last couple weeks to try that skooma, but we have it written. Sorry, with my two.
We have it written down.
Yeah, we have it written down. We are gonna try it. This was not the week for that. I was rocking production weeks for that.
Yeah, we've been busy.
But in a great way. Don't worry, Terry. We won't forget about you. Plus, bunch of fun. We got a bunch of fun stuff coming up now that we're getting through citrus season, and we have bigger and bolder flavors that we get to start working with, and more light seasonal flavors too. The delicate ones are coming into the spring here pretty quick, right, John?
Yeah. What production are you talking about?
I am working on some. I'm working on some of the garnishes and bitters for Noble Bitters Company, and yeah, getting ready because we're gonna get a website here pretty quick. And I'm talking to some friends about getting some space from them. So I'm just trying to get all the things lined up, and yeah, so we can make this even more legit. And we can start sending things out to everybody. We want to do some home, have some party kits for everybody that's out there, direct to consumer from the website. And yeah,
Nice.
we're gonna try one tonight. Thanks for your help with it. We're gonna try one of them tonight. John, you got a good labeled one. I got a blue tape labeled one.
Maybe you want me to switch to. Wait, is that the next drink though, or that's the?
Oh, that's the last drink. But you're right. We'll go to that next. Let's get to work. We'll move some of these things over, and let's get to our basic gin drink, which is gonna be Aria Gin and Tonic. John, we were gonna try and do a taste test comparison. Tell everybody about it.
Yeah. Well, you and I encountered Aria. They had a booth at a farmer's market. The night market.
Yeah, the Portland night market. Support
and they were selling,
night market.
Yeah, they were selling Aria. Aria launched their own gin and tonic pre-made can line. I'm like, oh, that's good for them. So convenient, and it tastes great. They had little samples they were selling, and I punched that in because it contains liquor. It should be tracked by the Oregon State liquor search website, and they say, yeah, this one place near you has 7 in stock of these pack of 4 cans. We were going to make it our own gin and tonic to compare to theirs. Can you make a better one at home? Is it the same thing? Anyway, I search all over, and they say, no, the system's wrong. We haven't seen those in months. And you know the 2 words that are going to come out of my mouth next.
Let's drink. Supply chain.
Supply chain.
Weird. What's that?
Wait, there's a problem with the supply chain?
There's a supply chain issue, John?
So, coincidentally, this liquor store was right next to the Aria distillery here in Portland. So I just walked over there and said, hey, you got any of your cans? They said they expected to have those cans back in summer. So
okay.
But they let us in on a secret that it's really just the same, Aria dry gin, no magic there. It's the same thing that goes in this bottle, plus a citrus forward tonic. And they recommended us a couple that we're going to compare those instead of comparing to the can version. We're going to try it with a couple tonics.
I'm excited.
Let's get into that.
Bree, are you
I talk
okay?
too much.
Bree, that was awesome.
That was
Bree,
great.
are you okay with trying these side by side,
Yeah.
or do you want your own?
No, we can share.
Okay.
I'd like to not end up on the floor.
I'd like you not to end up on the floor either. That'd be awesome. Tarts, what do you think? Have you ever tried Lavender Gin? Terry, yes. In fact, Lavender is one of my favorite flavors to add to gin. Especially if it's not in a syrup. Nothing sweet and citrusy. In fact, another one of my favorites is lavender and black pepper. Talk about a black pepper forward flavor love. But it's black pepper is very, very calming. It's super, super great for your nervous system. So adding it to lavender, really, really perfect. Gives you a nice calm down, lets you chill.
CP time?
Makes your brain feel good in a nice way. And we taste so much with our olfactory glands. So, I mean, really, we taste everything with our olfactory glands. Man, I wish I had my camera right now. John, do you want to tell everybody about the 2 different kinds that we ended up getting?
Yeah. The 2 tonics. Yeah. So the rep at the distillery tasting room recommended. They were selling it there. Either Fever Tree, Mediterranean tonic water or Fever Tree citrus tonic water. I had the Mediterranean. It's fine. I didn't have the citrus. I want to try that. And then we also have the premium Indian tonic water from Fever Tree up on the hands cam. That's just a classic.
Right.
So
and actually,
I guess in short, I took half their suggestion.
Indian tonic water has been more my favorite tonic water throughout the years to use. There's less sugar to it. There's actually more complexity and flavor. I really appreciate like pushing the envelope in that, and I'm not one to just want same reason we did a hot toddy last week and it wasn't just lemon whiskey and water, right? Like we want to go for and see what we can where we can push our palates a little bit. I have the dullest knife ever, if you can't tell. Watch me fighting with this lime. That's okay. But I wanted to make sure I got a lime ready for our traditional gin and tonic here. I've never ever seen them served without a lime. I've seen a lemon and a lime, but not without a lime, at least. John, have you had, what are your variations on gin and tonics that you've seen?
Lime.
Just lime?
Yeah, maybe once in my life I saw a lemon. Who knows? Who knows what the fluke was there?
They were out of limes. What if it was a sweet lime, too? Could have easily been a sweet lime, and I would have thought it was a lemon. Just in a wedge, because they're yellow, and they're almost indistinguishable, except for the little bit of extra tartness on the nose. Oh, I forgot to score mine.
Lemons and Mexican limes have the same father, that is citrons.
Ooh, okay. Thank you, Citron, for getting busy.
Yeah.
Giving us more and more options.
The lime's mother is Macrantha. I've never heard of that.
Whoa. Related to recruit?
The lemon's mother is a sour orange, as you alluded to. But now you know.
I don't know where my jigger is, but I'm rocking this one. I haven't busted out one of these
What
old ones
is
in a while.
that thing?
It's an old, it's a jigger from Kilbeggan they gave me. It was a free jigger. It's just, this is old school style, like, back when martini glasses looked exactly the same.
Down.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Do you
What's
like
the
it?
ounces on that?
1.5 ounces. John, is that what we're doing? We are? Oh my God, great guess.
We're starting with, you can, at home you could make a gin and tonic ratio to taste, but we're starting with 2 to 1. And you're making one for each tonic, is that right?
That's right. Bree and I are going to share. By the way, anybody see what that is?
Is that a meniscus?
Oh! You said the word!
Oh my God, stop. Jesus. Wow.
Do you not remember Pee-wee's Playhouse?
I do remember his two.
Sorry.
The word of the day.
We're going to compare you to Large Marge, you grump.
I know. I am kind of a grump.
This is what happens when she doesn't get enough Navy strength, folks. Thank you, Lucif.
Now, I was thinking a highball glass for this, but I'm making 2 shorter ones so I can taste test them and not get wasted. Is that what's going on over there, or would you not use a highball glass for this?
I wouldn't use a highball glass for a gin and tonic. No.
Oh, okay.
Usually, there's not the same amount of dilution, like a 3 to 1. Usually, don't need as much ice. I don't feel like. I guess if we're using cubes, it really doesn't matter. You're gonna use 4 in each. You're gonna use 3 to 4 in this. You might be able to get 5 into another one. But no, I've always been I've always served gin and tonics in buckets. Seems that people usually want, if there are nursers, they want to have they want to have a little straw or something to be able to kind of stir it around, work with it. Most people have a couple sips, squeeze the lime, and add that in themselves then as well. And I think about this as being a drink that you're going to sip from the edge of your glass more often than you're going to be drinking it out of just a regular straw. I mean, we have some pretty bold flavors when it comes to tonic. And also, I will say, like, having quinine, like a little too much quinine in your system, is a very easy thing to happen. So I think that if you were going to be sucking down tonic, you might actually get flushed and feel like you're more drunk than you actually are, just based on the chemicals that are in your tonic itself. So there's my 2 cents about not even recommending the recommending it being in a highball glass. Have you had a lot in a highball glass, John? Is that your go-to normally?
I guess so. I forget the last time I ordered a G&T in a restaurant though, but at home certainly highball for me.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm going to keep it short here because I'm doing that half pours.
What's your ratio though when you do the 2-to-1? Or do you normally do a 2-to-1? I mean, what's your ratio when you do a highball?
Oh well, I mean a highball drink.
I mean, yeah. Sorry, when you put your G&T in a highball, do you know that ratio?
You know, I don't think I checked the ratio.
You just get the glass. You just like get it, and you're like, thanks. I wanted that.
Sorry.
You know, it's only since starting Thirsty Therapy, since we started this live stream, that I really cared about ratios.
Yeah, I get that. Where we really started like diving into the idea of it. So check it out. I got both these. This is why. There's my gin and tonic, and there's my argument for why I think gin and tonic should be in buckets. You got it on hands, right? So if everybody looks at, we got a good amount of ice. There's a decent wash line to that. It's not too high, but you also don't fill it all the way up with ice. And a big complaint of gin and tonic drinkers. See, this is it, John. It's because I listen to my guests too much. Is having too much ice in their glasses. Oh, you're filling up. There's no actual real stuff I want in there. You just filled it up with ice. And you're like, take it easy, buddy. I promise there's the same amount that's in everybody else's glass. But for just for perception, and that's our job. Is like it's my job to manage people's perceptions. So in doing so, that's kind of why we do these things. That's why we've talked about wash lines in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. So, do you want to skip ahead just for argument's sake? Because I do want a decent amount. Never mind. Let's do it. Let's do it like I already said. Like I already mentioned. Let's have a couple sips, just by itself, and then we'll squeeze the limes into it, stir them up, and then try that too. Does that sound good?
I found out who the
Yeah.
who's Lime's mommy is.
Who's Lime's mommy?
Recruit Lime.
Didn't I? That's what I said. It's Recruit. Love it. My favorite lime, John. Recruit lime leaves. I use them, make a lot of tinctures with them. Okay. Which one are we starting with? Citrus or Indian tonic?
I'm going to go Indian tonic because that's the one I've had the most. I just want to calibrate.
Here we go. Cheers, sir.
Cheers.
Whoa. Cheers now.
Cheers. Tasty treat. If I were at the bar, I might have given it a little stir, but everybody saw how clunky I was with putting that ice in there. That stirred it up enough, for sure.
Oh, that is a good G&T.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case. Do you want a little? There you go.
Those are the straws.
Those are the straws you got me. Look, I got some glass straws.
Refreshing, citrusy.
Ooh, that's delicious.
Mmm.
I think it needs that lime squeeze though.
Yeah, I agree. But we're actually
Needs what?
tasting. Go ahead.
The lime squeeze.
Oh, we'll get to that. Shall we move on to the other one?
Let's move on to the other one. Oh. Cheers.
Cheers.
I forgot I'll give you another.
Oh,
Wow.
There's enough of a difference.
That's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Great difference.
It's even brighter. Wow.
Wow. Wait, what? This one's the...
That's the citrus.
Yeah.
I'm actually digging that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Ooh. Remember how many gin and tonics we drank at the beginning of the pandemic?
Oh my gosh, yeah. We were hoping it would
Because there was something about quinine.
Yeah, we were hoping just like malaria we were gonna pack our bodies full of enough stuff that...
I don't think I've had one since. Like, I think it's been a couple years since because we were like drinking a lot of gin and tonics at the beginning of this thing.
Oh yeah, I made a bunch of tonic too.
You made tonic, yeah.
Real quick, did we talk about Terry's question? Less flavor in the tonic to pronounce the gin more. What do you think of that?
I agree. Oh, by the way, back to Terry. I got to tell you something though, Terry too. I love the idea that you're adding your own flavors and essence to gins.
Yeah.
You should do that.
Yeah.
I go to Lavender Haven and I get lavender every year and I make a ton of infusions. I'd give one a shot. Try a little bit, maybe even in rum. A small amount, just in a white rum. I'd be curious to know how you'd come back and tell us about the viscosity difference. Obviously, there's going to be a flavor difference as well, but see how something that's made out of cane sugar, as opposed to neutral grain spirits, kind of pulls that flavor out and envelops your palate with it. And then cucumber as well. Hell yeah, cucumber is actually not only is it distinctive in Hendrick's gin, but it is very distinctive in a lot of gins. It's a major component in a lot of gins. Just like I was teasing out, like asparagus. Asparagus is a vegetable that most people don't realize is in the creamier sides of gins. The smoother finishes, they have a little bit of asparagus. It's weird that you would think of it, but it's raw, kind of drawn out, draws out that flavor, but it's almost indistinct. It's not like cooked asparagus at that point. Sorry, John, back to what you were talking about with Terry, too. I will say the less flavored tonic to pronounce the gin more, it all depends on the kind of gin you're really wanting to use. But I will say that in my experience, the better quality tonic, and usually tends to be a little more pronounced than Shasta, or something like, something of that, like real basic tonic. Because that's a tonic, like that's a real tonic, right? It's made in the same way as tonic, but like, that would be my less flavored tonic. The idea behind that happens to be, though, that even with more botanical things like vivacity, I want something with a little less sugar and a little more true backbone to it. So there's my 2 cents. John, what about you? Do you feel like you have an opinion? Like, do you care more about tasting? Yeah, what do you care more about when you're tasting your gin and tonics?
Yeah. Well, I can relate it to this one because the Aria already has so much citrus in it. I like it with the, forgive me if I'm skipping ahead, I like it with the Indian tonic more because you get this contrast of Aria's light sweetness with the dryness of the Indian tonic, whereas the citrus tonic just kind of piles on.
It's super citrus.
So absolutely, there's something here about the gin interplaying with the tonic, and you want to balance both. Yeah, featuring the gin more. I mean, I guess the Indian tonic does feature the gin more because I've also had this same Fever Tree Indian tonic I tried with Beefeater last week and was disappointed. I don't know. Aria makes such a good gin tonic.
Yeah. Yeah, even when it comes to, here, I'm going to do the squeeze real quick before I hand it over to Bree. Yeah, even when it comes to, like, those basic things, I love that you said it like that, John, because it's one of those that you're like, yeah, I appreciate how they play off of each other, rather than just having it indistinctive. Did I mention Bowles Genever, though, by the way? Bowles Genever happens to be one of the gins out there with the most amount of lavender already, like, kind of baked into the process. So if you wanted to try a non-infused, Bowles Genever is your trick for that is what they're known for. What they want to be known for is their lavender backbone. Yeah, I'm with you. Tart Darts, I appreciate both of them.
Try the other one, the line.
I'm a little bit torn, John. I won't lie. Because I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, and back to the same reason you couldn't pick one gin, I want these two for different things. And I don't.
John's helping me.
I want more. I want more Indian tonic about this time of year, and I want more of this citrus. I can see me really leaning into this citrus flavor much more as it starts to warm up. Where I don't need as heavy of botanicals. Where I wouldn't have to change the gin necessarily, although Roku could be cool with the citrus too. And I feel like Roku, its delicateness would be overpowered by the Indian. We might we might try that. What?
I was just laughing at John. He like saved me in all of this. Thanks, John.
Thanks for saving Bree, John.
Error messages are forever.
I was pretty proud of myself that I was like, turn that off. To make it so you can't see it.
Nobody's at the bar.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
We know you're
Terry's here. We know you're here. Lucif, you're here. Tarts. We got 3 people. Bam! Bar's full. Sorry, folks. There's a wait now. Shit out of luck. Welcome to Portland. Stand in line. You'll love it.
And you'll love it.
Tarts is trying to take a screenshot of the error message to Google it and to debug. Thank you for the help.
Oh, thank you for your skills.
Well, we'll just move on without that.
We're gonna move on. It's so good.
Yeah, so you're holding on to the citrus. So I think Bree prefers the citrus.
Interesting. Okay.
May I?
Maybe the Indian is just what I'm used to, but I like the balance of the dryness, salinity.
We're going back now that I got a little bit. I can try the citrus again.
You like take without passing. Who are you? Go back to college.
I'm sorry, what?
You like took mine without passing me.
Oh, my bad. I forgot. I thought we were on a show that we were both
all right.
tasting.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Shit
Sorry,
on
everyone.
film. Yeah, you're right. Totally my bad. It's a puff give situation for sure. Perfect. Bree's getting happier. Navy strength is kicking in. Hope you're all here for this. John, I know you know this part of the show always gets a little easier.
What did you drop the lime in yet?
I did. I dropped that lime in the coconut before she started grabbing them.
It's
I mean,
delicious.
there's no coconut, but I just did a half squeeze. You can go heavy, but remember you only have a half drink, so you don't want to like keep your ratios. It's you.
Smoke.
I don't sell smoke. Is your left arm twitching?
If I have a stroke, y'all, I loved you. This is a good time.
So, which one do you like better, Bree? Now that you've had a little bit of
I still think I like the citrus better.
citrus better?
Although, I like them both.
The Indian tonic has a lot more bitterness to it,
Yeah.
so I'm not shocked that like you're leaning towards like the brighter citrus at all. Yeah, not shocked. John, how about you? Now that you added the lime, do you feel like it's expressed any more? It's brought you any further to one or the other?
I think it made both.
Here, you can have this one. I love you.
I think it made both better,
Yeah.
and therefore the tonic water, or the premium Indian tonic water
Stick
remains my favorite. Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. Hey, can we talk about how this and we'll just take a brief moment to say, like, we'll throw these 3 up here real fast and say, remember too that these were incentives, painkillers, and preventative medicine, vaccine-ish kind of things. I don't know. What do you want to call it? Sorry, I know it's hesitant. I shouldn't say the V word right now, but like.
No, I think preventive medicine was a great term.
Okay, preventative medicine for
Vaccine's just a different thing.
for the Queen's Navy. Gin was largely produced in in England and then France as well. With the harsh botanicals of juniper that were grown, that can be grown in such cold, shitty conditions. and then they sent them around the world, quinine and in the tonic to keep people from getting malaria, and lime in the form of roses, which oddly enough, John, have we talked about this? I was shocked as fuck when I like studied that roses, lime cordial was the original lime, like shelf-stable lime that was able to be shipped around the world and still had enough lime in it and enough citric acid that it helped prevent people from having scurvy. Because it was hard as fuck to ship citrus. So they had to figure out a way that they could get citrus to the Navy, the Royal Navy, so all the sailors weren't dying of scurvy. And then, even more fitted into... Yeah, I love that that's part of our lore and part of our history. And we don't think about it when you think about... I mean, sometimes you think about it when you're like, what's the like adage... Now the American one is like you can drink a little bit of whiskey as somebody pulls a bullet out of your back, or your arm or some shit like that. You pour grain alcohol on it. But like it's really been used to like keep people going for a long fucking time. By the way, John, with that scotch, I forgot to tell you that we did we were talking about scotch for a minute, and even some of the scotch producers, I always found this fascinating. As somebody like me who tastes alcohol quite often, I'm always like, oh man, I hope I'm not like ingesting too much for myself, hurting myself in the long run. But then you learn about like scotch producers that are 90 years old when they retire, and every day they had their dram of a white dog, like raw scotch, you know what I mean, unabashed. 190 proof alcohol, barley alcohol in this particular case. But like you learn about how these have kind of, how they can be bad for us in one effect, but also sometimes necessary and get us through some of the other effects. Do you get what I mean? Am I being obtuse?
Yeah. I think the problems, the alcoholism of the world, the negative associations with that, the negative memory of people, experiences we've had, people we've known, it weighs in our minds. Right. But then there's just a bunch of people being responsible and having a good time.
Right. And there's a place
going to old age.
Right, exactly. And responsible-ish when you're thinking about them drinking like paint remover for like, you know what I mean? Like essentially. But like, no, I'm saying the high proof alcohol. I know you're trying to turn into something else, but sorry. Yeah. I gotta say one perfect example of that was I used to swim in Arizona. I swam competitively for a short time. I used to swim at the same place where Gary Hall Jr.'s parents, they owned, and where he trained. So people internationally would come into town and do different meets or just come in to try and like practice, right? It's a warm place. I grew up in Arizona. You can go swim there in the wintertime if you're in the northern hemisphere, in some other place where it's too snowy, right? So a great place to be. Oddly enough, met some folks that swam with the Australian team. They always had 2 bottles. 2 bottles, 2 water bottles at every lane for each person. They trained harder, longer, and faster than anybody else I'd ever seen. And then I found out at the end that one bottle had water in it and the other bottle had vodka in it. And wouldn't you know that if you're hurting and you've already swam 6 miles and you just don't think you can make it, a couple shots of vodka will get you through that last mile.
Really?
And you'll make it through.
I'll drown.
Yeah, but you're not an athlete with like, but as you're like burning it through at like, and you're not drinking it like we're drinking these drinks where your body can metabolize roughly 1.5 ounces or 2 ounces every hour. They were having maybe 1.5 ounces in that small amount of time. And that was about it. But it was enough to like literally be the thing that stopped, kind of severed that system to your brain from from really yelling at you to stop. Probably doing what it's supposed to do, honestly,
Yeah,
now that I'm saying
I was
it.
like, I think you're quieting something. That
Right,
probably
your
exists
body's
for a
like,
reason.
no, it hurts, and you're like, shut up, you. We're going further. But I will tell you that throughout history, for a millennia now, that has been happening. It's probably produced a lot more than it has taken away from. Yeah. In a weird way. I wasn't planning on being preachy about that, but it's an interesting. I'm not on a soapbox. I promise this is my high. But anyway. Sorry, John, you got quiet. I get
It
nervous.
wasn't preachy. We can talk fondly about drinking culture.
Okay.
But no soapboxes about what's that people that we hate? No, never mind.
Who's that? Oh yeah, never mind. We're gonna talk about that.
Who's America on to now? I don't know.
Right. Right now it's
let's
Mr.
talk about that local sports team.
Right? Hey-o! How about those pickles?
I still want a Portland Pickles hat.
I know you do. Bree wants a Portland Pickles hat. John, have you been to a Portland Pickles game?
I have not.
How about a Hillsboro Hops game?
I have not.
That seems
I
even
like
more
sports,
up my
but I
alley.
still just want like anything with a mascot of a pickle and like okay, get behind.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is.
It's true.
Maybe water.
Her and the cats.
The cats.
Unlike fighting pickles in this house.
What just happened? You still have one more drink today?
I was thinking about a cat like thinking a pickle. It was a Pickle Rick episode that just kept rolling around in my mind. So forgive me, y'all. Sorry, that was enough to stop Bree from talking. Never mind. I know you thought we couldn't. We just bring up Rick and Morty. All right, so we're setting aside the tonic water. We're obviously having enough to drink. Thanks, y'all, for joining us on this journey. Tarts. Which part of this sounds insane?
Oh, yeah, the swimming thing.
Oh, okay.
You're
Just checking. All right. Well, I had no idea. I thought maybe you two were talking about. Anyway, drinking while swimming. Yeah, it's a terrible thing. Don't ever try it. It's no fun at all. Those people on the beach, they hate it. Take it from a lifeguard. It's no fun to be in a pool when nobody else is in there and you're a little tipsy. Just don't dive in. You're usually okay.
Okay, now you're getting preachy.
Yeah. Tell me what to do. Love of their lives, really.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry, y'all. We got dark there for a second. That was the therapy part of it. We've already hit the thirsty part with Bree and Ryan Reynolds and the drinks, so we're there.
Sorry about my snorting, everyone. Alright.
Sorry, John, do you agree?
I agree we should make this drink. You can preach about that.
Okay, let's do that. I thought you were going to agree with me about Bree being thirsty for Ryan Reynolds. I thought we were all here for that. Tarts?
No.
No? No love? Alright. Elusive? Eh? No? Okay. Alright.
Don't humor him. Just let it go.
Oh, look at you. You should see the eyebrow raise. They're my friends. Alright, so let's make this next drink, John. We wanted to go down the rabbit hole. Well, we didn't have to go down the rabbit hole, but all of a sudden it hit me.
we thought what's an iconic cocktail that features gin? Okay, well there's the martini. What uses one of the 5 gins? Billy picked Roku. Can't just do dry vermouth though.
Nope. How to do
Can't
something
just do
fun.
orange bitters. Nope.
Nope. Come on, that wouldn't be just as fun. We're still gonna do a lemon. Is that cool?
You kept some things consistent. Okay.
Yeah, like one thing, the citrus. I thought the citrus would really complement well with the Roku. But we talked about that Sanso pepper, so we have a little bit of pepper already in that flavor. A little bit of lemongrass. So we have citrus. We have some great backbone for this already. Bree, are you gonna have one of your own for this one?
Why not?
Let's do it.
Only have one.
We're already there. So I'm gonna stir a double into here, but as we go into this, we are gonna talk about why I wanted a more complexity of flavor. I mean, we could have gone with, like you said, John, we could have done just plain dry vermouth, just a little bit of that, and we would have done just a little bit of orange bitters, and then we could have done a lemon or an olive. But I feel like the olive would have completely taken away from the flavor of the Roku.
Yeah.
I can't believe I left it away.
You know, I've had a Roku Martini one time before. We specifically requested that was... It was actually from someone who's joined us on the channel. Avatar Ferris Wilkin. Shout out to Ferris Wilkin. Ordered from him a Roku Martini, and he just served 2 ounces of chilled Roku Gin. He did not add vermouth. Nothing, right? It's just, he said it was so delicate it didn't call for vermouth. So this is interesting. You're going to Flavor Town with some of these things here.
We're going big, but we got a lot of big flavors, and remember, we can have a lot of elements, but if they're complementary, they're going to kind of come in to be a cohesive thing, a unit, a one item that we're looking for. Now that isn't going to be the case with everything. Sometimes, John, you and I've talked endlessly to you about how I can add too many flavors, or we can add too many bitters to a cocktail, and they almost negate each other at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Too many flavors, all of a sudden, they're just all, it's the color, it's the flavor brown. You don't know where, the flavor tan. You're just like, what? So, with that being said, we're going to try and do this. We're going to go a little bit bolder. Now, I will tell you that when it comes to vodka martinis, I usually don't add, I usually just do 2.5 ounces of vodka because I don't add any vermouth to it. But when it comes to gin, I feel like it can handle, I feel like a vodka martini is overpowered completely by the vermouth. If anything, I set the vermouth by the Yarai, and then that's it. And then they'll let them look at each other.
The whisper of an unopened bottle of vermouth.
I have actually. I'll take that back. I've had. I'm gonna forget the name. It is something gold, and it is a potato vodka made with gold Yukon potatoes. It has an earthiness to it that has a distinctiveness that is so different.
That could stand up to an additional ingredient.
Yeah, and what I've done with that is I've actually put a little bit of vermouth in the glass, stirred it around almost like we do with an absinthe rinse, dump it out, and then that's been enough of a presence.
A rinse. Okay, nice.
Yeah?
Your audio is lagging, and I can see it on OBS. I'm gonna try to stop streaming and restart. John, does that cause any problems? Everybody's getting a lag of Billy. His mouth doesn't match his movements.
Oh.
Maybe I would reconnect the camera rather than stop streaming.
Okay, let's try. But it's
Well,
the microphone though.
I don't know what to do. Where am I now? Just kidding. Sorry. I just made it way worse. Sorry, y'all.
Oh, it's not on that scene.
Do you see it, John? He leaves. He's already gone. Come out. And now he just left on this stream.
Whoa. That is a delay.
Let's see.
How about now? Hi, Uni Abby.
It's still happening.
No, but we have them. I didn't try them yet. We were diving into gin and tonics. Apparently, my audio is lagged compared to my face. So I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm making it worse. I don't.
Well, we can just move on.
No. That's okay. I'm happy you're here. And let me tell you, Uniebi, that the ice cubes by themselves, because we're only doing gin and tonics tonight and a martini, the ice cubes by themselves started turning out so great that even the top portion of the maker itself gave me some clear cubes. So if that tells you anything, We'll just pull them out here in a minute. We'll show everybody just for fun.
Let's just keep going.
You guys good with that?
It was just such an interesting issue.
Are we shaking this martini or what? Revisit that conversation. To be perfectly frank, I think that we should go ahead and shake this martini. I actually, Tarts, I'm glad you chimed in right then. Other than the audio issue that I was pausing for, I really wanted to talk to you specifically about your salinity comment a little bit earlier, and how much I appreciate that flavor, in addition to the rest of the flavors that we have when we're dealing with gin, and why I went ahead and kind of fortified our vermouth that we're using tonight. So we're taking vermouth to a whole different level, and we went ahead and I infused it with kombu, which is we'll say that it is in the seaweed family. In Japan, kombu is a plant all onto itself. So it isn't like kelp or other things that are made that are turned into nori or oh my gosh. Help me out, John. Anything else? No. Why am I stuck? I'm want to go grab my whole box of goodies that I have that are made from seaweed, but yeah, it doesn't matter. So we wanted to add that because I wanted a great amount of umami, along with a little bit of salinity added into that. And you do, that is where umami is part of the place where umami is derived. Oddly enough, that's where MSG is derived as well, which actually helps facilitate that umami response or that flavor in your mouth. MSG is everybody's, oh my god, what's MSG? It's made from seaweed. It is literally from seaweed. They just extract it. Even the stuff that you see in powder form has been extracted from seaweed. So we're going to add it in here. It is a great balance, makes you salivate, helps you want to take another drink, and it really plays off the Sanso pepper that's already in and the citrus that we're already working with. So John, let's get started and let's do this one starting with the dry vermouth. We'll switch to the hands cam. Yeah, let's do that.
And I pulled out a Uri, make a stirring glass. But do we need to shake this?
We could do it either way. No one's going to be wrong no matter how they do this. However, I will say
Thirsty Therapy is the only place I can get a shaken martini and not feel judged.
Right.
It's true.
It's true. And I'll tell you why I think even more so this one would work great as a shaken martini. Because look, I got my Uri out too. Habits are a real thing. But if we're going to go to the science of it, we've talked about how you get a better emulsification, and you actually get with that emulsification process and the oxidization in vermouth specifically, there are a lot of beneficial compounds and flavors that are actually present once you shake it. And we're using more vermouth, John, than we normally use. So we're going to shake this one. I think it's going to really help. I think the salinity is going to give us a fun, weird glimmer to the whole thing. I will say though, the only thing that I'm stuck on is I know that people aren't going to see the third ingredient in this as well because it's going to be shaken. So would you shake and I'll stir for argument's sake? Just so that we get, well, no. We should shake. Just gonna, all right. Production value shot to shit, folks. I got nothing, I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding. I wanted everybody to see the Bergamot black pepper tincture, that last thing that we're gonna add in. We got a little bit of, we talked about the salt, we're gonna add a little pepper into the salt.
Make this one, and then maybe we'll have time to make another one. It's only 7:30. Just do it.
Girl, okay. Well, then what we're gonna do is we're doubling this up.
Make the drink.
We are, since I'm doubling this up, it is a ½ ounce of vermouth, which is normally way more vermouth than you're gonna need, but we also have a pretty subtle but well-developed flavor of our gin.
You mean less vermouth than you usually have?
Oh, I'm sorry, less.
It's usually a 2-to-1 is a classic martini, right?
Right, but we were just talking about like vodkas not needing much of almost anything.
Oh, sure. If you're treating this as vodka, then yeah, it's a ton of
no, but you're right. Although I feel like how often do we ever fall on a 2-to-1 martini once you mentioned it like that? Even people that love vermouth, I don't know, usually jump on that 2-to-1 martini as much as a like 1 1/4 to 3/4 kind of dilution rate. I know that's not traditional, but I think people's palates are appreciating the flavors of gin more than anything else. So we gotta change that around a little bit. So here I already started in the wrong thing. See how I am? Okay, so I ended up having 1 full ounce of vermouth because I'm doing a double, and that's the combo infused vermouth. Then I'm gonna go to Roku Gin, and we're gonna go 2 ounces. Make sure if you're trying to hit the 2 ounces, you're actually filling it all the way up to that meniscus. You get the little shaky bubble right on top, then you know you're right where you need to be. Even if you just see it for a second, right as you're about to tip it in. Don't be scared. Even if a little spills, you'd rather have the right amount than the wrong amount. Even if that means you get a straw and that last little bit right there. You're at your house. You're worthy of good straw tastes. A 1-to-1 martini tarts. I need to know the vermouth you're using that makes you want like that much. Could you shake, then add bitters, and stir the drink in it? Is that crazy? It's not crazy at all. The difference between the two, and here's why. The fact that we're gonna shake it up will speak for itself in just a few seconds. Actually, let's do that. Let's do a comparison, John. I'll add my bitters in now, my Bergamot black pepper tincture bitters that we're gonna add. I'll add that in now to mine to shake up. You don't add it into yours because I love your hands cam, and I feel like the lighting is fantastic for this to be a good experiment. And then let's try adding yours afterwards. Is that cool? Are you down?
Dropping it on top and stirring it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Is that cool? All right. And we'll see. Maybe that I'm down. Thanks for the suggestion, Tart. All right. So what we're talking about is Bergamot season. One of my favorite underappreciated citruses that are out there. Bergamot is an orange. It is used to flavor Earl Grey tea. So black tea with just bergamot peel in it. It is so much further beyond citrus than just orange or lemon peel. There is a floral and aromatics and complexity to the smell of bergamot that is unlike any other citrus. So I encourage you, about this time of year, you probably have maybe another week left to find it in the grocery stores. If you're lucky, buy one. It's going to cost you like $1. And give it a little scratch. Smell it. See what you can do with it. It pairs great with black pepper. You're not going to get anything out of the juice, but the peel is where everything's at. If nothing else, remove the peel from the entire bergamot, throw that into a pot, and then slice the bergamot in half, give it a little squeeze, and throw the full cups. That means the peeled bergamot itself that's sliced in half. You got some of the juice out. Go ahead and throw the piths and everything, those juiced half rounds. Throw everything into a pot. Equal parts sugar and double the sugar to water ratio that goes over it. And you probably don't even need to cover it with a full amount. If you did 1 bergamot, you'd probably be able to do a 2 ounces or 2 cups of sugar to 1 cup of water, and you are going to have a great flavored syrup by the time you're done. It's going to get a little bit of extra liquid from the juice of the bergamots, but if you bring it to a simmer before you shut it off, just a quick bubbles, the first few bubbles, shut it off right there so it doesn't overcook, and let it cool, strain it out, and you're going to have kind of the most complex and floral citrus syrup that you've ever had out there. So please give it a shot. You only have a little bit of time. What we've done is I paired it with black pepper. John, have you tried this yet?
Oh, I love the tincture.
I feel like, I have a bitters as well, but I feel like the tincture is one of the most approachable and cleanest places to kind of sneak it in.
Do you already have everything in there?
I was just about to put the black pepper tincture in right now.
What else is in there? Everything else?
And no lemon peel yet. But I actually, since I'm going to do a shake,
Trailing.
I'm going to do a Regal shake. So I'm going to add the but here we go. So Bree can knock it off, everybody. Let's get these drops in quick. So I said 5 drops. We're going to do 10 drops because I have a double here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we actually want to measure out as close as we can so we can figure out what our palates can handle and how much we actually appreciate the flavor of the whole thing. Now, since this is double... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead,
You said
Tom.
you're shaking with a lemon peel.
I am going to shake with a lemon peel.
And express at the end and garnish with it at the end.
Yes, but my expression is going to be a little bit different. So if you want, why don't we switch that up as well? And here's why. I'll show you why in just a second. So I'm going to do one quick lemon peel flat, and I'm going to go a little different than I normally do. I'm going to go across the bottom. Everybody will see why in just a few seconds. Sorry, I just went right across the bottom. I'm going to squeeze it into my shaker, drop it right in, and then make sure you get a good seal on your shaker. Smack that can down on top, flip it over. Should hold it right there, right? Already got all your goodness. And it's sealing. You can already feel it going together. So since I have this as a double, I'm going to shake it twice as long, but it's a martini, so it doesn't need to be shaken for a long time. All right, here we go. Sweet. I'm already done. You can feel the frost on the outside. Get a crack, let yourself drip.
What am I doing?
John,
What's John doing?
you got to shake.
Okay, and then he's gonna add his. But is he gonna do a Regal shake with the lemon?
He is, I thought he was going to do a Regal shake with a lemon too. He already put the lemon in.
Okay.
I did not.
Oh,
I can.
go ahead.
Express and drop.
Express and drop. Shake it up, Mo Tussin.
Normally we'd shake 10 seconds, but this one, since it's a martini, you're saying less than that?
Yeah, well, I ended up going 10 seconds. I ended up going about 13 seconds, in fact, but
You have a
it's
double,
because
right?
I have a double.
Okay.
So I'm going to strain mine before it gets any more diluted. I got one here for Bree in the fun green glass, and one here for me in the clear glass. John, what's the first thing you notice? Oh, you don't have yours poured yet. I want to show everybody the first thing that I was worried about with the shake is the opaqueness or the translucency of the cocktail then. Right? That's the one fun thing that you get out of stirring a cocktail. Is it comes out clearer, but it doesn't mean that it's best for the cocktail. It doesn't mean it's the right thing. I'm going to turn that around. I got a little less splash on the backside. So I already have my bitters in. John, how's yours look? Yeah. Yours is pretty cloudy as well. But you know what? We don't need to make it like too pretty. We'll give yours just a couple minutes since you have that great lighting in the background, and see if we can make this happen. Mine's already there. In the meantime, I'm going to garnish mine with oil. John, let's have you express yours with oil. But set the peel aside so that way it doesn't change like how we actually see your cocktail, so that we can see if we can. We're going to still take a shot and see if we can get that black pepper tincture in. The only thing I was going to ask John is, can you move your glass just a little bit closer to your camera?
Yes.
Nice.
See if it autofocuses.
It did. It seems like it. Yeah, perfect. Awesome. All right, so I am...
So an additional express, more lemon oil.
Right, because we got to get our olfactory glands, right? We got a little bit of flavor in there, but why not just hit it home? And we're balancing out that salinity as well. Let's see where...
And then discard the peel?
Nope, just set it to the side. You're going to add it in just a moment. The only reason I'm not having you add it yet is I want to, I'm hoping everybody can see that tincture go in still. I thought my channel peeler. I was going to do a channel peel for...
What did it look like?
It has a little wooden handle. I just had it
No, I haven't seen that.
today. I got it from your dad, in fact. Hold on, I'm going to grab that real fast because it is too cute not to use.
Here you go. Far away. He's finding the channel peeler. He'll be back.
But I guess not.
He lost it.
Okay, no channel peeler action. I was totally geeked to put like some fun long ribbons in like I did for the Instagram post. But that's alright. I'm just going to grab my regular knife then. Well, I'll grab my peeler. We'll do a long, fun one around the outside, still the same way, and I'm going to break this up into two. So I'm going all the way, long way around. Look at that great peel. We're going to trim it on the sides, split it right down the middle, and it's still going to give us what we want. First, though, trim on the sides. Quick expressions, half at a time, so I can make sure I still get some oil right on the top. And then let's finish out with one long... Look at that. I got a nice double, 2 strips, 2 drinks. We're gonna wrap them around our finger. Because that's really what I wanted, was a nice curl. And drop it right in. Whew, nothing prettier for me. And a sexy peel curl going right across your drink, like a ribbon. Remember, keeping it twisted and then dropping it into your cold drink is going to shock it and help it stay in place. Bree's got even better on there. It's a pretty good shot, huh? Oh, wait here.
I get the uranium one. Get that.
You do get the uranium one. Ooh, wrong way. This way. No, it's just Vaseline.
Yeah, that's true.
Vaseline. There we go. Hey, they're both in the picture. They're so cute. Are you ready to taste these, John? We got to add some bitters first.
Yeah.
Or tinctures.
Just 5 drops on top.
5 drops on top. I don't think
Let's
we're gonna
see
see what we want to see because you're still pretty. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
see what you wanted to see.
You
That's
know what?
okay.
That's okay.
Give it a little stir.
It's great, John. Go ahead and give it a quick stir. We're just gonna taste it.
Yeah.
So what I mentioned before, everybody, is the unique part about this tincture that I've always been fascinated by is when you add it to gins or vodkas or a clear drink without any sort of juices in them, the oils that are already present in black peppercorns as well as the bergamot peels themselves really kind of hit and have a chemical reaction that's almost ghostly when they are added to a drink in this way. John has the best lighting on his, so I thought it was going to come through, but it's still pretty creamy almost,
Because it's such
right?
a cloudy drink. Yeah.
Right. And there's our shaken part of it, right? So
Thank you.
thanks a lot, Targ Tarts. I'm just kidding. Just joking. You were 100% right. This is exactly how we should have done it.
We sacrifice appearance for wonderful taste.
Hell yeah. And isn't that what it's about? Cheers. Cheers. I like how you almost spilled it on yourself.
Say it out loud.
Woo!
Wowzers.
Yeah? What do you think?
Yeah. I get like a cucumber taste on the end.
Yeah, I can see that. That's the vermouth. The dry salinity of it. And I feel like you already get that dry salinity with dry vermouth in general. That kind of vegetative greatness.
This is good.
Thanks. You like you get a little bit of saltiness. John, do you get... What's he going for?
What are you doing?
John, do you get... Is it time for Hamburger Helper?
I don't know. Is that an ad?
It's like...
Is that an advertisement?
You're so,
No,
you're so bothered right now. It's like, oh, God.
I just went for you infuse Dolan dry vermouth. I'm just going to pour a little bit of that by itself.
It's really subtle. There's
I
not.
love the salinity though from the kombu. I can totally taste it.
So what I appreciate more than just salt, because we could add salt to it, but you get a vegetative, you get a little bit of vegetative, and you do taste. It's a different kind of salinity that you get with that than even just sea salt. But although at the same time, I'm not overpowered by it either. Like I'm not like
take over.
No?
You're not like, oh my god, it's seaweed.
Right. Like, oh, I just ate a really cheap sushi roll or something. Where
Or like miso
shitty
soup, where
seaweed.
sometimes you're like overwhelmed by the amount.
Right. Yeah.
No. No, you're really working with the Japanese gin here. It makes sense now.
Thank you. I know it's weird shit. That's why we talked about going down the rabbit hole. But like, I feel like sometimes we get a good. There's a good reason to start crawling in a rabbit hole. Maybe it's
Falling, tumbling.
tumbling. Yeah. Tumbling.
Now, you estimated 5 drops of the bitters. Did you want to go up?
I think it could go more. Hands down, I think it could have handled a lot more.
I'm
What do you
curious, especially on my end where I didn't shake it in there. I would go 5 more drops.
think? Yeah, let's do it together. I'm gonna do a couple less than yours.
No, don't do any of mine. Let's just compare.
Ooh, great idea. So keep in mind, everybody, we're adding it into something that we've already drank a decent amount of, or at least a little bit of. So maybe in the full drink, this would make the dilution rate a little bit closer to 12, maybe 15, which I still don't think would be overpowering. When I was messing around with this, I can go up to like 20.
Ooh, now see, I think I like that. I think I like it better.
See, that's what I wanted. You get the
Salt and pepper, right?
Salt and pepper, that's what I wanted. Yeah, I love it. It is, it's salt and pepper. You get a little bit of the salinity, finish with the pepper. I could still go even bigger and really appreciate the citrusiness a little bit more. The pepper, remember, the pepper is going to add a heat to it, so you got to balance the idea that, like, you're going to feel, and here's another part of that perception, right? So we've tasted all these gins. You have to balance the idea that you are going to feel sensations that may feel cheaper with better quality things because we're adding different flavors or textures to it. Another example of a style of drink other than this would be adding spice to whiskey and like a real spice to whiskey. Like John, you and I have talked about, I have that ghost pepper infused Elijah Craig barrel strength. That is a great gin. It is not a great whiskey, a bourbon, not a cheap bourbon by any means. But then you're adding like that heat to it. Sometimes people, oh man, this is terrible. No, it's just a different layer that you have to actually like sort through. So I feel like I'm gonna go 4 more in here, and I'm gonna know in my mind that it's supposed to be spicier, it's supposed to be pepperier, and the heat doesn't mean that it's bad or cheap or harsh. It just means that it's a different flavor profile.
But you're putting more in?
Yeah, we're going a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Because here's why. I really feel like that Sanso pepper, the bergamot, and then you need the fresh, the yuzu in there, and then the bergamot that we put in, the black pepper, and then you need the fresh lemon to actually bring out some freshness that you're not going to be able to kind of fake more than anything. But here's a good example, by the way. Is it on my hands or on? Yeah. Did I move it the right way? Okay. So, this way. Oh, just kidding. This way?
Oh, that worked.
Hey-oh! So, mine's already starting to be a little less cloudy, like we were talking about, John. However, if everybody can see, now it kind of has what I was talking about, that little bit of cloudiness still there. Now we're working with all the oils that we just put in. Essentially. The citrus oils and the black pepper oil.
What do you mean? It's like how it was like layered a little bit.
How it's still cloudy now. Now that mine's broken up, mine is far enough along that it should be completely translucent right now, or transparent right now. However, just like yours is basically transparent right now, isn't it?
It's so cloudy.
What is it?
No.
Oh.
See?
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm looking at it from the top down. It looks a little different.
I think that's a cool drink. I think it really stands on its own. Like it almost doesn't, and I mean this in the best way. Like the build is a martini, but it just tastes like something completely on its own. Like that's cool.
Thanks.
And anybody who any barflies out there that say I don't like sweet, I want a savory drink. I want salinity forward drink. If they're that specific, I think they'd be really happy with this.
Yeah, it is.
This is balanced. Somehow this has no sweet notes, but yet it's still very balanced.
Thanks. It does have some. Yeah, it does come out in that way, like with the oils. And, yeah, there's nothing sweet that we put in it.
But like
some residual sugar.
I really
in the
like
Dole.
dirty martinis, and it gives me like that salinity that I appreciate in a dirty martini.
Oh yeah, this is by far the cleanest dirty martini I've ever had.
Yeah.
Can I tell you
it's like clean and dirty.
That's why. So I don't like dirty martinis.
I know.
That's why I started developing this cocktail. When I first started making this cocktail, it had soy sauce in it.
The white soy sauce?
No, then it went to white soy sauce. And I actually have a white soy sauce variation that does do really well with this, but I actually really appreciate the so the thing with soy sauce is, and white soy sauce specifically because it's fermented, it's pretty just actual real soy sauce, whereas soy sauce that we get in other places that isn't white soy sauce or shiro, it isn't. They add wheat to it, they add caramel flavor, they add other things to it. Like shiro shoyu or white soy sauce is like as pure as you can get, which is why it's so expensive. But when you add it into something like this, it doesn't have the same molassesiness and notes that the other soy sauce has. However, I will say that now that where my palate is at now, I appreciate the umami that you can get from the kombu that is too in your face with the white soy, the shiro shoyu.
Yeah, because it's a different part of your tongue.
Totally different part of your tongue.
Yeah.
Whereas shiro shoyu doesn't make you want to salivate in the same way. It's almost a satisfying tongue envelopment
Like
or mouth coating.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily need to go in for more. But this, I want to keep going for more. I'm like
Yeah.
John, do you get the salinity dissipates, then you have citrusiness, then I salivate and I'm ready for more.
Yeah, that is sort of a shocking thing about it. It was early on, I was like, it's a pretty salty drink. I'll probably just sip this really slow, but I do keep reaching for it.
Triple sipper, triple drinker, triple drinker!
It's a Pringle!
It's a Pringle. Just can't eat one. Fucking Pringles.
Once you pop, you can't stop.
Yeah.
Can I try yours again?
Oh yeah. Why did they make the Pringles can so small? I can't fit my hands in it. Won't burn them. Sorry. Did it on purpose. Sorry. Have you seen that comedy? Have you seen that?
I haven't.
You haven't seen
hear
it?
or see?
What?
Did you listen to it or see?
No, his Bob Burnham's thing. Oh, maybe we did listen to that one.
Yeah.
His Alone. Was it Alone?
It wasn't in Alone, the Pringle can one.
No, oh, okay, my bad. But Alone was the special that he put out, that he started making. He went back to comedy. He's a stand-up comedian who quit comedy for 6 years and went back to comedy in February of 2020.
Great timing, yeah.
Great timing.
Yeah.
And then subsequently wrote in a Netflix special. And then Netflix was like, we don't give a shit. You still owe us a special. So he made a special out of his house during the pandemic.
It's really good.
It's fucking
Oh,
great.
I've heard, yeah.
Okay.
Will you have me a little more?
Yeah, tincture. I'd love to.
The pandemic hit.
Right. It was the pandemic hit. It really, like, hey, I'm appreciative, Thirsty Therapy, right? Like, I'm appreciative of somebody admitting to their struggles and dealing with, like, something that we all could universally, like, equate to. And the fact of seeing somebody in, like, some of their worst conditions and showing that honesty was, that was awesome. Especially from a comedian that's why I like comedy, is because of the brutal honesty that comes through in it. It might be insensitive from time to time, but it is nothing but human observation that we probably don't like to see probably don't like to want to know about. Yeah, it's uncomfortable when we don't. There are certain things that make us uncomfortable with it. So I love that part of it because I used to live with a comedian. I've had a couple friends who are comedians, and there's one thing that they're amazingly observant, but don't try and talk about real feelings because then that suddenly brings it into a realm that isn't funny, right? Like, so this guy did some funny shit with like real feelings, and I like kudos to him. Can I golf clap? What do you do? Snaps?
We're talking about ASL earlier.
Hey, you're right. Cheers. Man, nice job, John. Clearly,
Got you.
Baby signing time did not stick with me like I thought it was going to. I really did. I was like, I'm gonna learn sign language. I
took ASL to fulfill a language requirement.
Hey, it better than easier than French. I feel like more logical than French. Like,
and I don't know if it's easier.
I didn't take French, but I feel like it's like it's based on for somebody like me who like would clearly read pictures easier than words. Like for me, it's
just different.
Yeah, it's
easier for some.
For me to understand.
If I'm honest, French considered a romantic language, not just of the romance language, but considered, language of love. I took ASL because there were more girls in that class.
Oh, there are a lot of girls that do ASL. Talking with your hands is totally a girl thing. So I get it.
Is it? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Feminine.
That's true.
Say that.
I don't know if it's feminine. I just,
He's just an observer.
I majored in computer science and linguistics. And at the time, computer science was not so hot for women. ASL class, though.
Wait, so
I had my pick of the litter.
Yeah.
Other languages?
It turned out pretty well. What?
Did you take other languages though? If you did linguistics?
Yeah. So that's the funny thing about the linguistics as a field of study. It's like, oh wow, do you speak so many languages? Like, no, I speak a little bit of a few languages very poorly.
Oh, because you had to take
But I understand why.
You're learning the commonalities of all languages, which doesn't teach you how to speak any one of them fluently.
But you can break things apart potentially.
How they were derived.
What it is. Kind of. Is that the jam?
Yeah. It's kind of fun. Well, because your attention is so. I mean, there are linguists who specialize in a language or a language family, but it is fun leaning on that when you begin learning a new language. Like, oh, this language has nouns and verbs too. It's the same. It's the same system.
Basic.
And nouns and verbs are what we learn in basic grammar school. Elementary school.
College.
But in in linguistics, you learn some higher forms, and it informs your informs your learning of a new language. Like, oh, Japanese has this. That's what they were talking about in chapter 10 of the linguistics textbook. It was very abstract. It didn't actually help you to speak Japanese, but you encounter it, and then you realize, oh, this language has that where English doesn't.
Got it. Is that kind of like the backwards
building blocks of language, as opposed
to the building
blocks?
Yeah.
Okay.
No slight to my fellow linguist graduates, but I didn't end up applying it in any professional sense.
Yeah, my communications degree. That's
stop. You didn't even have your degree.
I'm just kidding. I almost did. So close. I was only like 30 credits away from communications degree. I'm just kidding. I really was. Welcome. But I can clearly communicate. See? Graduated. Click, cling.
You totally did.
Nothing? No? Nobody? Bueller? This is why I need a real bar. At least somebody down there would be sad enough to be like, yeah! Thanks, Joe.
I'm no one. I just laugh.
What? One more martini. John, you froze again. Are you doing that on purpose? Are you just trying to tease me? Hold on.
Wait, he did freeze.
No, I'm enjoying my martini.
What the hell happened?
Me
So
too.
weird, man, I got this. I don't know. Life is hard right now.
Why is it that hard?
TV like broke. I don't know.
Purple TV. Never good. She hasn't noticed either yet. Thanks,
What?
John.
What? What are you talking about? Shut up.
I was frozen too. I don't know what happened. The whole computer's going down.
Try to solve problems instead of create them.
Sounds about right. I like to create problems, John.
You know,
It's just fun.
Tartar's
poking
asked
fires
about
Hold on.
Tartar's asked about
Oh,
ordering and
I lost
drinking
you, John, for
ASL
just a
or
moment.
Just be quiet.
Tartar's asked about. Well, he was
I
talking.
know. Sorry, John. Hold on.
okay.
You're not my real bar. Tartar's, I'm just about to get to those daddy issues in therapy. Then I'll talk about them on Thirsty Therapy. As soon as I can discern what's going to make me cry and laugh. Right now, just might start convulsing.
Okay, John, we should be able to hear you.
Hello.
Oh,
Hey!
Billy and Bree,
John.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Okay.
can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so teach us to order a drink in ASL, maybe say cocktail. You know, that did not come up. I don't know about the practicality of that course, of that college course. Contrast this with, has anybody you come across the Pimsleur language series?
No.
It's like for studying language in a car, like on a commute, in a car ride.
Never.
And as opposed to learning in a classroom setting. And I've experienced that both Japanese and German. And I gotta say, the first thing they teach you is how to order 2 beers. Not 1, but 2. What do you
That's
think you're doing in
because you're a
Germany
good-
or Japan, huh?
Right?
I love it.
That's because you're a good host. You're not just going to order a beer for yourself, you selfish you selfish American. Get 2 beers, hand one to a stranger, start talking to them in very broken, slightly racist language.
Well, in Japan, they would, be honored that you attempted to learn the language. Like, oh, what a great guest, please welcome to our country. In German, they just switch to English.
Yeah. And then they just are talking. They're like, please don't bother.
Can you please stop trying to say that, sir?
They're not that mean about it. They're just, very.
They're just like, yeah, I don't have time for this.
Yeah, they're like, well, we all speak English here. We've seen the Schwarzenegger.
I've learned. Sorry, sir. I've learned you're Kentuckian. Can you go ahead and just speak it? We were forced to learn this in school, so we didn't get bombed by you again. Just kidding. I got nothing. Yeah. Always takes that fun turn every time of the night. You're not my real dad. I mean, bar. Tart. Stop it, tarts. Hey, John, I do have to say though, when we talk about the ASL part of it, can we break down the idea that, like, let's still be real, that this is bullshit. Sorry. ASL, real thing, bullshit.
That's one of my favorite signs. That's great.
Here's your bowl.
That's
Here's some shit
good.
coming out. So really?
So good.
Cocktail? No? Come on. You know that there's some ASL lady in the middle of we're gonna make cocktails a go for the Portland City Council. And she's like, what did she do? Well, hey, that's what we do here. Like, we got it in sign language just in case you need it.
I just died.
Sorry.
Everyone's dead.
Good thing everybody signed off at least 8 minutes ago.
Okay, so top three videos teaching me the sign for cocktail.
It looks like drink.
But I've also seen.
Oh.
The second one seems more like shots.
Yeah.
And the first one, okay, cocktail. Now this is interesting because this is a little bit different. 2 fingers, forefinger and thumb,
Oh.
is a little bit different than your whole hand,
Yeah.
which is just a drink.
Drink. You're right. That's exactly what we thought over here. We were like, oh, this is the same as drink, but you're right. It's a C. I want a cock drink. I want a C drink.
Yeah.
Well, sorry. Like, you know what I mean. Sorry. Cocktail.
Yeah.
This is slightly different.
Searching.
John, never. Just always go for the bigger. I'm just kidding. You're like, no, cocktail.
Oh man! All right, y'all.
Oh, it has been fun. We're 10 minutes. We're 76 minutes over, John. That was awesome. Who'd have thought?
76.
Time flies when you're having gin.
Heyo, thank goodness. Hey, everybody, I get to finish all these and watch Bree cry in the bathroom for the next hour. So I hope you all had a good time.
I would eat dinner.
Oh, she's going to try and eat dinner. We all did. John, you had fun?
Yeah.
Did you finish your
let's.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I finished this, but I got some tonic left to kill, so.
Ew. Time to make your mixed, what was the thing? I just read about it today. Your mixed use tonic, gin and tonic, because you get to use all the, what was it called? Legendary? Was it the legendary? It was an idea that like bars went around and like savored the last little bit of a special bourbon that they had. And instead of but we'll say that technically refilling bottles with a bigger bottle, even though you're putting the same thing into it, in some places is discouraged or illegal. So in those places where it was in particularly strict, they would take the last little bits of their whiskey and blend it all together and have this continual cycle of blending whenever they had stuff ready, and people could then choose to have a pull of this particular whiskey.
Oh.
And who knew what it was going to come out to taste like because of the blend of amazing. There might be a little whistle pig in there, and there might be a little like really expensive shit, and there might be some like not so expensive shit, but it's still decent stuff. I kind of like nerd out on the idea because I'm all about not waste. And if you really had to you were supposed to toss that at the end of the night, or not actually, it wasn't productive for you to start your next shift with it. That seems like a cool thing to offer to your guests. Well, we got this blend that we're always continually. The flavors always changing.
It's weird.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
I have heard of that. What is that? Yeah, this is ringing a bell. Like an infinity whiskey or something.
That's what it was. It was Infinity that I couldn't. If I would have thought of the Gauntlet, I would have been there. But no, I was trying to think of real
Infinity Gauntlet of whiskey. I like it.
One snap and you're fucked up. No, I'm just kidding. No, all right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining
Good
us.
night.
John, I had such a good time with you.
Such a good time.
We'll see you soon. Tarts, Lucev, we love you. Thank you for being here.
I know looks like it's better.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
anyways.
Now everything's good right as we leave.
Okay, say bye, everyone.